you know, this is today. Kind of so cool.
These practice games out yesterday and was like, yeah, Los Angeles farming for Peter Bob. But at the end of it, no leaks or anything like that. They're actually going to switch up how it's going to work. They might actually, work together just a little bit more than we were expecting. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of practice and implement that new strategy.
Yeah, and we're talking about support. Aussie Antics, look, I'm going to give one leak. He eliminated Mr. Savage yesterday in the practice game, so he can still hold his ground.
Okay. Well, guess what? Frankie's actually standing by with the duo right now, so let's get their thoughts on how they're feeling.
Yes, and before we ask them about their game, I need to ask, why is the FNCS Pro-Am going to be won by Reason and Faculty today?
I don't really know, to be honest. I'm just going to go out there and win.
Yeah, you're going to win, so no one's getting in your way today.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
That's probably the most obvious answer and the question I shouldn't have asked because we all knew it. Now, Ozzy, I'm coming to you. What was it like when you were paired up with Peterbot, when the news sank in?
I mean, it's exciting. Obviously, everyone wanted to get Peterbot. It put a bit more pressure on. I started practicing instantly. I was kind of going to gauge how serious I was going to take the event, of which teammate I got. Once you get Pete, you got to lock in. So.
And how seriously are you taking the event?
I mean, pretty seriously. I mean, no one's expecting me to be the firepower on the team, but if you got to keep up with Peterbot, you got to at least be practicing. So I put a lot of time in. I'm feeling pretty good.
Peter, have you been surprised by the firepower that Ozzy is bringing?
A little bit. I thought he would be a little bit worse, but he's definitely gotten better.
Is that because of you?
No, it's not even because of me. I think he just grinded on his own, but I think he's getting better for me.
He's definitely been grinding. We're hearing rumors that more people might be heading your way at Slurpee Swamp today. Have you got a message for them?
I hope people land on us at Slurpee. It'll be free eliminations for me and Ozzy. So, yeah.
Free eliminations. No one wants to give Peterbot free eliminations. To be honest, they probably feel free when people are actually coming at you primed and ready to go. Ozzy, so you've talked about the fact that you're just going to be a bit of a walking llama for Peter today. But after the test games yesterday, where you did get an elimination on Ali A, are you feeling like actually you might be going more for the elims now, more direct?
We'll see. I don't want to say too much, but I mean, if I go the full llama route, people are going to start looking for me as the llama. So we'll change it up a bit. I don't want to keep the strategy too one-sided. So, I'll get in the mix a little bit.
And you are such a kind, lovely person. If you ask Ozzy to talk about the competition, he's just like, I don't do that. I can't talk about anyone in a bad way. But I do want to know, has Pete told you any trash talk?
Oh, I mean, we'll see. I don't want to mess up his flow state. I know Pete likes to smack talk. He likes to, crash out on people a bit. So I don't want to mess him up too much. So I'm usually Mr. Positive, but it's a tournament. There's money on the line, We'll see how we go.
So the answer is no. Pete hasn't taught him any smack talk. He's literally the same Aussie Antics we know and love. Peter, Ozzy, thank you so much for talking to me today. And I know you're going to put on a good show. Let's head back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Yeah, I mean, so we've obviously had a couple days now with everybody here at the tournament. We've had kind of chances to catch up with Ozzy individually, Peterbot individually, and a couple times together, right? And you can definitely tell Ozzy's taking this very seriously. He's really putting in time. He's really trying to refine. And Peterbot is just being Peterbot. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to show up on the show day. Everyone's getting eliminated.
Peterbot saying that Ozzy is not as bad as he thought he was is the nicest compliment I have ever heard out of Peterbot's mouth. So that right there is a good sign.
Obviously, one-sided there when it comes down to the communication, right? Ozzy a lot more invested into the questions. And yeah, like Zeke went ahead and said there, just confidence spewing out of Peterbot. Every single time he's on camera, he's just like, yeah, I'm going to win.
People are sleeping on Ozzy a little bit, though, no? I mean, when you're put up with Peterbot, it's hard to kind of make that comparison, right? The GOAT of Fortnite competitive, the GOAT of Fortnite viewing parties, but they definitely have what it takes.
You said the word GOAT there, and that got me thinking. There is a GOAT we have to highlight, and it's someone who's going to be fighting for the #1 loudest duo on the day. It's Courage JD paired up with Cold. Obviously, if you guys, again, have been watching since Duo Day, we had Courage on the show. He was really excited. Finally, they got some time to practice together, and
But once they did finally get the practice in, it definitely looks a lot better. Courage JD, we were talking about Aussie Antics putting in the work, putting in the practice. Every time I tune into Twitch, Courage JD is practicing some kind of pro.
Yeah, and I got to say, Zeke was mentioning, oh, yeah, they're going to be competing for the loudest duo. I'm pretty sure one half of this duo is going to be entirely carrying that loudness. I'll let you guys at home kind of decide who that's going to be right there. But yeah, to bring up Kelly's point right there, the practice that Courage has been bringing to the table. It's not only the time that he's put it in, because obviously it's been a bunch. It's actually the quality of that practice that kind of caught my eye. Jumping into lobbies, jumping into creative with other professional players, even ones that are actually competing in the event. Like I saw they had a great session with Venno himself, right? little bit tips and tricks there about how to fight box to box. So great job by Courage to go ahead and jump into the action.
Yeah, and also the vibes. I mean, this morning, Courage was, I would say, the first one in the practice lounge. And he came, he had 3 bananas, 2 waters, 3 granola bars, and it was all for Cold. He said, my duo has got to be ready to compete today. So I think they definitely got what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, he's a character, right? And of course, him being basically the last one out last night during the practice hours, like, I cannot wait to see Courage compete. He did have some quotes in that piece that we showed earlier. I believe he said he was going to eliminate Cypher PK,
Nick A30,
Nick A30, and then some of the pros.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah. And of course, during the duo day, he was the self-proclaimed 2025 FCS Pro-Am champion. So we'll see how that goes today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of possibility, Takada. I do think that Courage JD may have made a few enemies, though.
Definitely made quite a few enemies. You can even think, I'm going to take you back, okay? 2018, the Fortnite Pro-Am. Courage actually got 2nd place. And, you know, Cypher was talking about it. He competed back in the day. Also, Ali A, who got 5th. And Courage was like, you know what? As long as I place higher than Ali A, I'll be happy with that.
That was a long time ago, Tokata. That was a long time ago. But, you know, look, this duo is perfect for each other, right? Like, obviously, the quiet nature of Cole, who's going to be kind of slipping in and out of builds, eliminating players. Courage being the loud voice to distract people. I mean, you know, why don't we just hear what they have to say?
The best content creator at the Fortnite Pro-Am.
I got my player. I know my player.
Go ahead. Who is it?
Cypher PK.
Crazy.
If that's not an indication we've been having a lot of fun this weekend, I don't know what is. Very excited to see how these guys compete. You know, obviously, Cold is Cold. So, you know, we kind of touched a lot on Courage and how much work he's been putting in, but Cold is a very difficult individual to stop once he gets going.
I mean, Major 2 reigning champ. He every time we see these like stats of who has the most damage, it's between him and Peterbot who's fighting for first. Absolutely an incredible fragger. Definitely a threat to the rest of the lobby.
Yeah, an incredible performance in Major 2 from Cold. Best damage ratio over the course of 12 games against other professional players was seriously a feat. Obviously, that's the crazy thing, right? When we think about, you know, how well they play in Majors, it's always against other professional players. Throw in content creators in the mix, you're one of the best fraggers in the game. Being Cold, woo, it's gonna be scary.
Hey, 3-time FNCS champ. I mean, look, they're joking around, they're having fun, but I think when that first game starts, they're going to be locked in. They're going to be focused, and they're going to do a great job.
I'm curious to see where they're at right now. Frankie is sitting by with the duo. Let's get their thoughts on the Pro-Am.
Well, Cold was 14 years old when he won his first FNCS major finals. Courage is 31, and he's hoping he's going to get his first title today. And you brought the bananas. What's this all about?
Yeah, it's important to have fruits, keep your blood sugar high. I'm going to have 2 bananas per game, which will equate to 12 bananas by the end of this. And I think if I get 1 elimination per banana, we'll be in a good spot.
Who are you going to eliminate, though? Who's the easiest?
I mean, how long do we got? Cypher PK, we were fighting earlier, easy eliminations. Peterbot hasn't even warmed up, not worried about him anymore. Typical gamer might almost be 50, so his reaction time isn't cutting it. And I got Cold as a duo, so what am I worried about?
You do have Cold as a duo. The weird thing is, I would have thought it'd be him with the back injury after the test games we played yesterday because he was carrying you quite a lot. Cold, how are you feeling about your partner? He's been grinding more than anyone in this entire building.
He has. I can tell he really wants it, and like he wants to do well in this, so I'm going to do my best to give him what he wants.
How long have you been able to practice as a duo? Because, I mean, you had the Major 2 finals not that long ago.
To practice for this?
Yeah.
Not much practice coming from me, to be honest, but I got Courage for that, so.
Well, you did have a little bit of trouble. You're dropping south of booming base, and unfortunately for you guys, malheureusement, the French are going there too. What's the tactic for dealing with them today? Because they gave you a lot of trouble yesterday.
There is going to be no dealing with them. We're just going to let them do their thing. We're going to do our thing, and we'll see how it goes.
Are you going to do what I call the Mongol strat? You're going to hide in a bush until the danger's gone?
Of course not.
This man doesn't hide in no bush. Courage, do you think that you've put quite a lot of pressure on yourself with this event? Because obviously you've been grinding, but back at the 2018 Celebrity Pro-Am, you did lose to Ninja. He put you in second place. You say you gave it to him, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Look, Ninja needed to complete his story arc at the first Pro-Am. I love my boy Tyler, but he had to get that win. This time, though, I'm coming for first place only. And if we win first place, I told Cold I'm giving him all my prize money. So
All the prize money, I mean, 50 grand. It's not pocket change to me, but maybe to this man. But you could buy an awful lot of bananas with that, Cold. Let's head back to the desk.
Well,
I think they broke Zeke.
I'm fine. Everything is fine. Everything is great. Always a big fan of Courage JD, a true OG in the scene, and of course, I love seeing him paired up with Cold. They both seem in very high spirits, which I'm excited to see. That means, whatever happens, we're going to be hearing Courage JD on that stage.
Oh, 100%. I think that for this duo especially, that they are just here for the vibes. But I think that throughout those vibes, they also just might get a few wins as well.
Yeah, I mean, the approach to this tournament is just completely different. I love how Cold's answer to, oh, you know, how much practice have you guys kind of been putting into the tournament? He's like, oh, well, me? Really not much. But that's what I got Courage for, as if, like, Courage has put in so much practice that it's, like, taking up how much Cold's supposed to practice. Like, Courage has practiced so much for the both of them.
Look, all I know is no other player is going to have more than 12 bananas. Will that actually help Courage? I don't think so, but hey, you know, it's the spirit that counts.
Okay, all right. Now, the spirit of what I would like to see today is someone win their first LAN title. Thomas HD paired up with Somerset, which is kind of a terrifying duo. And guys, I will go ahead and admit something to you now. When Duo Day happened, obviously we were seeing the duos announced come together, and I kept, I was going one by one. I saw Thomas HD and Somerset, and I thought, oh, that's really cool, and I kind of moved on. Then I had to kind of stop myself and take a kind of step back and wait. Oh, hold on, Z. Did you read that right? Thomas HD and Somerset?
Yeah, leading up into this event, a lot of people make their prediction list, top 3, top 5, and this duo is in pretty much every single person's top 5 list. And there's obvious reasons why. I mean, Thomas HG is the best player in Fortnite to never win an FNCS title. I don't even know how many second places he's won. And then, of course, we have Somerset, winner of multiple votes, as well as getting 3rd place at the most recent Milk Cup LAN. I mean, they are incredible competitors, and having that competitive mindset is definitely going to set themselves up for success.
Yeah, this duo has put us in a little bit of a gray area, right? We're supposed to have a professional player on one side, content creator on the other side. Obviously, some say great content creator, but she is just so invested in the Fortnite competitive. I think nobody would bat an eye to call her a professional player in all regards. Like, you saw 14,000 hours streamed, all of that being invested into Fortnite competitive in some way, shape, or form. And not to mention, right, Fortnite is an esport that continuously gets harder, right? Throughout your career, it's just harder to kind of come into it. Everybody's getting better. Somerset is also just getting better, right? Earlier this year, making it into FNCS East, which was a feat for her. So she's constantly getting better, paired up with Thomas HD. Scary duo.
They're going to be lethal. I mean, not only making it to Heat's 3rd place in the Milk Cup, Thomas HD, on the other hand, 4 times he's placed 2nd place in FNCS Grand Finals, one of those being the Global Championship. Now, we did talk with Thomas, talked with Somerset. We said, if you win today, do you think it's going to count as your first FNCS win? Now, Thomas said no, but Somerset, on the other hand, had another idea.
Yes, she said yes. And look, we agree. It still has FNCS before the Pro-Am. So if you win, Thomas, it does count. Why don't we go on over to Frankie, who's standing by. Frankie, ask him if it counts.
Hello, I have got a very terrifying duo next to me. They might look sweet and innocent, but these two are going to have an absolute party when we hit Slurp Rush later. Thomas, when you first played Reload and this map, you must have been so excited because all of those weapons, have you got your name practically written on them?
Yeah, I do. Like, I like using the Mammoth pistol, for example, and the sniper. So, yeah, I like the weapons.
It's kind of terrifying watching the two of these guys play. What was your reaction to getting Thomas?
Oh, I was